Which one of you did it? Which one of you reported Thatcher's tech base to Bethesda and had it taken down from the mod browser of the new Doom ports? Because that mod browser is barely vetted, it's barely moderated, it's barely a browser, and yet Bethesda stepped in to protect the dignity of Margaret Thatcher? The most acceptable target outside of the fascists? Oh wait, she was one? Section 28? Having tea with Pinochet? Snatching all the milk? Come on! Which one of you liberal snowflakes stepped... Oh, wait a minute, it's Margaret Thatcher. Which one of you conservative snowflakes were the snowflakes you always are, It's put me in a bad mood, that. Oh, then I had to think about generative AI again. So-called generative AI. It came for Doom. And in doing so, it proved one thing. The fuckers pushing AI are coming for everything, including you. Because if AI can do your job, whether it can do it better or not, spoiler, it can't, then the corpos plan to kill your work too. After they've stolen it. It is Sunday night as I record this. Sunday night. I have had several daiquiris. And by the time I was done performing at my wrestling show and doing just a little bit of socialising, I came out and saw that all the roads had been closed and I had to walk quite a ways with a bad fucking back. And now I'm talking about so-called artificial fucking intelligence, where the only thing artificial about it is fucking everything. So... let's get the fuck on with this shit. So Google, the corporate equivalent of a vagina with teeth made of razors, has been pushing its AI bullshit hard, railroading us with it alongside other tech companies just like the twats did with the NFT scam, trying to force their feces into our mouths until we like the taste. Google AI has already driven the nail into the heart of the company's search engine, dominating searchers' results with information it lifted from such credible sources as Reddit.com. Oh, there's credible. The scam of Google AI's search functionality is quite clear when you stop and realise it's just doing what Google Search already did. It's scanning the internet and presenting results, like what a search engine does, except of course worse because Google AI presents blatant factual inaccuracies as factually accurate. We mentioned in a prior video how Google AI was telling depressed people to jump off bridges while claiming it was perfectly safe to make chlorine gas in your own home. Google AI is going to get someone killed, and I hate that death is what it'll take to get a serious conversation about AI regulation even started, and even then, it may very well not. In case you needed reminding, our stance on generative AI, aka derivative AI, here at Jimquisition is this. It is plagiarism laundering. It is made out of stolen and reconstituted content. It doesn't even do half the things tech bros claim it does, and said tech bros want to push it because they're creaming their jeans at the idea of companies paying as few people as possible to make the products they'll soon start really struggling to sell because an increasingly impoverished population is going to have no money because they'll have no fucking jobs. Remember when little opinion pieces from boomers shat all over millennials for killing such necessary industries as golf and fucking diamonds, and they didn't think it was the fault of their fucking friends jacking up rent, keeping wages suppressed, and ensuring nobody's buying diamonds because they need what little they have for fucking food. Do you remember that? The absolute fucking entitlement. Bloody fucking cunt. Sorry, I got really quite genuinely annoyed then and didn't intend to write any of that in the script. I mean, I could have just cut it by the time we got to the audio recording, but fuck it, daiquiris, these entitled fucking cronyists need calling cunt. They're complete fucking cunt. Where were we? Oh yeah, Google's got its fuckstick AI making Doom levels now. Google's research into the application of data stolen without creators' consent has reached a new fucking zenith in the quest to make employees obsolete. They have indeed crafted a playable Doom map because fuck this slime-filled world. This is according to a recently published paper called Diffusion Models Are Real-Time Game Engines, a rather fancy way of saying diffusion models can plagiarize real-time game engines. Naturally, this landmark achievement couldn't have been possible without feeding the so-called game engine a bunch of existing Doom content. By exploiting videos of existing Doom gameplay, the AI can generate a playable map with what the researchers claim has a slightly better than average chance of a human being able to spot the bullshit. This inappropriately labelled engine is called Game Engine, you know, in case you didn't hate it enough already. While a landmark accomplishment in the history of things that make executives mash their genitalia in profit-lusting ecstasy, it does need repeating that Game Engine still needs to steal all the ideas it's not having, because AI can't have ideas because it in no way resembles actual intelligence. Without guzzling up existing content, it cannot approximate content of its own. I'd say it can't create content of its own, but that would imply the results it produces are anything like creativity. The only creativity going on with AI is with the excuses shithead corpos are coming up with to shoehorn the shit into everything they can. You can't power an energy drink with AI. You can't. So Game Engine, quote unquote, watches someone play Doom, then it copies what it's quote unquote seen, like a plagiarist would do. The AI's regurgitated leavings are playable at 20 frames per second. The paper delightedly crows about what its AI, and I refuse to use the term neural network, can accomplish, as if stealing data and presenting it as your own is the same thing as an accomplishment. Right. Let me tell you why it's so fucking offensive that Google's team of hacks singled out Doom. Doom, a game my little autistic brain is already hyperfixated on at the moment, is a game around which map design and the people who design maps revolve. The engine of Doom is the canvas, the basic assets of Doom are the paint, and the map is what the artist creates. And make no mistake, Doom levels are art in and of themselves. From the elegant simplicity of Dead Simple to the introductory intricacies of Phobos Labs to the impressive malevolence of Tricks and Traps, people love these carefully crafted maps, and I only name-dropped some vanilla levels. There is a reason individuals are named for map designs where in other games, the credit's more amorphous. People talk specifically about John Romero maps, about Sandy Peterson maps, about American McGee maps.
Let's not forget the greatest name in map making, Terry. You're a legendary.
Each creator has their own particular flavour, puts a little of themselves into their designs. Each one is debated online as people discuss who the best map designer is and was. You just don't get this with other games, almost never at least. Doom is a simple game at heart, yet its applications are so diverse and brimming with potential that Doom levels are still being made nigh on 3 decades later. I once called Starfield a shallow ocean for all its size versus what's been done with it. Doom, by contrast, is the deepest puddle. It is beautiful like that. And like I said, I'm just talking about the vanilla stuff so far. We have an incalculable number of modded maps out there, some so impressive in their creativity there's a goddamn award for them, the CAC Award, which I bring up mainly because I like saying CAC Award. Doom mods are art. The best are made with consideration, cleverness, and of course, the love of the game, both the literal game Doom and the game of making maps. Then along comes Google to shit all over that and say 30 years of creativity, we can bash that out in an hour. Whoa! Fuck off. Like, fuck completely off with that shit. Anyone who's ever made a Doom mod ought to be outright friggin' offended at this, almost as much as they are at Bethesda allowing mods to be uploaded to the latest Doom re-release without credits. In fact, the two situations aren't entirely different. Both cases involve map designs being used without due credit, it's just Game Engine buried the obviousness of the theft under a layer of rejumbling, of laundering. With nearly 30 years of doomed creativity to draw from, you can bet your ass the AI has an absolute banquet of human art to feast upon. The shit it churns out will never be truly original, but it will be made possible entirely thanks to originality. Scraped, chewed up, and recongealed originality. It's sick, really. Just absolutely sick. Speaking of sick, let's quote some callous drivel from that paper. Game Engine answers one of the important questions on the road towards a new paradigm for game engines, the paper says, still pretending this is a real engine. One where games are automatically generated, similarly to how images and videos are generated by neural models. Key questions remain, such as how these neural game engines would be trained and how games would be effectively created in the first place, including how to best leverage human inputs. We are nevertheless extremely excited for the possibilities of this new paradigm. I wanted to say it like that. I hate it when tech pros say paradigm. Notice, though, how none of those clear questions involve what happens to the game designers. The human ones, I mean, the ones whose decades of work will be appropriated in the name of their own obsolescence. Indeed, the only mention of humans in that quote is about leveraging their input. That is to say, how best to get people to give the AI ideas to steal. In this paragraph of shite, the paper does inadvertently expose the absolute con of the AI future. Immediately after boasting about how video games will be generated automatically, they have no answer for how they'll be generated without people first making them manually. That's what their key questions are really asking when they ask, how will these neural engines be trained? When the theft engine has stolen everything, how does it get new stuff to steal? It's an unanswered question because it can't be answered. Well, not in a way the semi-sentient spunk bubbles of Silicon Valley would like. The industry wants derivative AI to make artists obsolete, but it is derivative AI that's obsolete because they'll need to copy the games people are making, and if people are already making the games, why don't we just play those instead? For one thing, they'll be better because humans understand design fundamentals, artistic complexities, and crucial context. AI doesn't understand anything because it's just sparkling algorithm. There is no such thing as intelligent design. There's no intelligent design going on with AI either. Look at that quote though. The other key question, how games would be effectively created in the first place. They're already being created! We have game developers for that! How can you ask the questions being asked and not realise how surplus to requirements an AI element is? Games are being effectively made in the first place, you fucking dumb pricks. As I said in a past video, I'm looking for more writing work at the moment, and I'm having to sift through an exhausting number of job adverts for AI trainers. I also see ads for AI tutors as well, which is the exact same thing but pisses me off more because of that little extra dose of pretentiousness. The ads just want you to write stuff for their AI to copy. That's it. That's all AI training is. These jobs are only a sliver of a margin more ethical than the majority of current AI training because you're at least consenting to having your work copied rather than replicated from stuff you've already published. Tech pros really hate consent, don't they? They just really resent it.
Allegedly.
But it's clear they realise that theft is only going to get them so far, so they need humans to generate more content for their algorithms to copy. It's truly fucking pathetic, really. So goddamn offensive as well. You want me to write for you, but you don't want to publish my writing, you don't want to credit my writing, and let's face it, you won't want to pay me what a writer should be paid, just so your fucking program can keep looking like it's worth a shit. Go get completely fucked, fuck right off, then get royally fucked again. So far, the discussion around derivative AI has centered on audio-visual art, specifically images, music, and writing. What this arrogant intrusion into game design demonstrates is that the tech industry wants all of y'all's jobs to go away. If they believe AI can do it, not do it better, but simply do it, they want to use it to replace the people already doing it. They are coming for game design now, and publishers who have already drunk the Kool-Aid with the A and the I capitalized will be more than happy to cut out the human element. They already hate it when game directors get too big for their boots and become well known. They already think the creative minds behind games don't matter and are interchangeable, which is how a game like Metal Gear Survive exists, or how studios shut down and the intellectual property they make gets passed around. Nobody has more contempt for artists than the people massively profiting from art. All the while, more people become unemployed as the laid off go to join tens of thousands of people who've already been laid off, and without any form of universal basic income to offset the purge of jobs, economic decline and mass societal suffering can be the only end results. And once again, I want to remind those who are gloating about artists needing to get real jobs that your jobs are under threat too, because if the job market swells with people who can no longer work in their fields, those real jobs of yours are gonna feel that swell of competition. A desperate competition that employers will take advantage of by paying far less, knowing the desperately competitive will take it. Like, that shit is literally already happening. It's not speculative. We're already seeing the exact same shitheads who whined about diamonds whining about how it's unfair for workers to expect to be paid just for doing their jobs.
You may not know it, but you're taking some major steps toward developing your own clown identity.
And we're already in a situation where many people need multiple jobs to afford rent because of how little they're paid. And won't that be delightful when the population of the overpopulated job market are running for 2 jobs each, 3 jobs each? And don't say I'm being a doom prophet, because like I said, it's already happening. Besides which, the only doom profit goes into Microsoft's pockets these days. It really does amaze me though how many people think they're safe from AI. What do you think automation and outsourcing is? They're all stains on the same crusty tissue of which AI is just the freshest and dampest. The history of employment is marked by constant efforts by so-called job creators to kill as many jobs as possible and damn the consequences, because the only people who will feel them are the ones they're fucking over. These cute little stories about AI drawing teddy pics and making video game levels are building a Trojan horse. The last few years have been all about making AI sound harmless and fun, about touting their impressive creativity and utility, but it's bullshit. And in recent months, we've really started to see the knives come out. Derivative AI isn't even very good at what it's doing. It can't exist without something to plagiarize, and if it didn't have those issues, the endgame of killing as many jobs as possible would just be a more achievable dream for the barely human nightmares behind it. Executives and investors who, as I've said in the past, are the most pointless societal surpluses going, yet have the fucking nerve to claim other people are redundant after banking billions off the back of their work. Unlike Google AI search results, what I'm saying here isn't opinion dressed as fact. It is quite genuinely what's going on, and none of it's even hidden. How dare those nasty little shits rip off Doom? Right, so I'm slightly hungover. I've had time since writing the script and recording the script to reflect on how angry I was. And now that I've calmed down, I 100% still stick by everything I said. How fucking dare they? How dare some AI evangelist, how dare some researchers from Google barge on into game development and act like it's easy, and act like, oh yeah, pretty soon we'll be able to just automatically do this shit that takes craft and experience and training and dedication. You know what? I knew that games took a long time to make when I was first starting out, when I didn't know very much. Now that I've actually worked with developers on content, I've gained a new appreciation for just how long everything takes. I had to sit on my work for date everything for 2 years. You can't just wander in, and that's what these fucking AI bros are doing. They are wandering in off the street, barging in on fields they have no business being in, and acting like they know better than the people who are the actual experts, that their sparkling algorithm can do it better than people who know what they're doing. As we saw in that video, they don't even know how their generative, their derivative AI is going to keep deriving. For them, AI is have an algorithm, question mark, profit. Fuck them. They've got no business being here. They've got no right to intrude in the world of art because they are among the most artless of all. Thank God for me.